Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text 20, translation. Yet there's another unmanifest nature, which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Please repeat. Yet there's another unmanifest nature.
Yes, there is another unmanifest nature,
which is eternal and is transcendental.
Which is eternal and is transcendental.
To this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Purport. Krishna's superior spiritual energy is transcendental and eternal. It is beyond all the changes of material nature, which is manifest and annihilated during the days and nights of Brahma. Krishna's superior energy is completely opposite in quality to material nature. Superior and inferior nature are explained in the 7th chapter. Very short purport. Om Gyanati Mirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshurun Melitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrachatam Sahagana Raghunantam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shivishakam Vitamsha Ye Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Translation. Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all this world is annihilated, that thought remains as it is. To bhava anya. Bhava means a nature. Anya, there's another. So the Lord is telling us that there is another world that is composed of a higher nature. So people say normally nature, correct? You hear people speak about nature. Generally, people mean like trees, flowers, mountains, rivers, like that. Actually, nature means the complete material energy. Everything that we see here is a combination of two energies. Inferior energy and superior energy. So the inferior energy is spoken of by the Lord in the 7th chapter of the Gita. So he breaks it down into 8. Correct? So it is 7-4. So there's 4 different inferior energy. Bhumir, Apo, Nalo, Vayu, Kam, Mano, Buddhir, Evacha, Ahankara. Iti yamme bhinna prakritir ashtadha. Ashta means 8. So what is that? Bhumi, earth. Bhumir, Apo, water. Analo. If you see the Sanskrit, Bhumi, earth. Apo, water. Anala, fire. Vayu, air. Kam, ether. Mana, mind. Buddhi, intelligence. And ahankara, false ego. So all this are the 8 separate material energy of God. So we can see everywhere a combination of these different energies. Ether. Ether is an energy. and it exists, but it's simply space. That's all. Space. People say, because before there was some modern day scientists, they tried to prove the existence of ether and all. Ether is nothing but space. Why I can put this TV here? Because there's space. That's all. Space is the most subtle element. It's everywhere, so it's very hard to understand. It's simply space, as we say it. If there's no space, you cannot put something inside. Very simple. So, space has got, ether has got one quality, that is sound. I'm speaking here. How is it that you can hear over there? So that is the proof that there is ether, because the sound vibration go through ether. Then grosser than that is air. Air has got two qualities, sound and touch. You can hear air, the wind, you can hear, and you can touch it. You feel it, right? When there's wind slashing your face, you feel it. But you cannot touch ether. Ether is space. You cannot feel it with your sense of touch. Then fire adds another quality, that is form, sight. You can see fire. You cannot see ether, you cannot see air. So fire is grosser because there's three senses that can perceive it. You can hear it, you can touch it, and you can see it. Water adds taste. Correct? You cannot taste ether, you cannot taste wind, you cannot taste fire, but you can taste water. And we know that if the tongue is dry, you cannot taste anything. Therefore, you need water for taste. And then earth brings smell. So you cannot smell any of the four previous elements, but you can smell earth. Therefore, everything that is fragrant comes from earth. Incense, fruits, vegetables, flowers, correct? Everything comes. So all the fragrances are within earth. And through the mystic potency of the Lord, a seed will extract a specific type of fragrance. That is very mystical. This is called Achintya Shakti, inconceivable potency. How is it that you take some lump of earth, soil, you smell it, it smells a specific way. But then here you plant a rose seed, here you plant some marigold seed, here you plant some mango seed, like that. So many different colors, so many different tastes, so many different shapes will emerge from this lump of soil. So this is very much miraculous, but we are so dull-headed in modern day that we are not capable of seeing the constant miracle that God is doing. So these are his 8 inferior energy, but these are like Play-Doh. Play-Doh cannot shape itself without the higher energy. What is the higher energy? The child who comes and plays with it. Then it shapes. So all the shapes that we see around us, for example, why is this whole place looking the way that it looks? Why is there paint? Why is there, pictures there? Why is the TV? What? Because the living entity manipulated these 8 inferior energies. The human beings, not just human beings, but I mean to say the living entity, because it has got intelligence, it's got working capacity, it shaped all these things into a fan, a light, a cupboard, books, right? Shelves like that, the Mridanga, the deities, everything. So without the superior energy, we cannot see matter take shape. It is not possible. So therefore, what we all see in this world is a combination of 2 energies, superior and inferior. So us, the living entity, not the body, the living entity within the body, who is spread out throughout the body by consciousness. Sometimes they say animals have no soul. Why? What is the proof that they have no soul? First of all, you need to know what is the distinction between soul and no soul. How to do that? You need to know the symptom of having a soul. What is it? That is also there in the Gita. It is said, what is spreading throughout the whole body? Religion. Maybe it is 17. Yes. You see? Avinashi tutad vidhi yena sarvam idam tatam. Vinasham avyayasyasya na kaschit kartum arhati. So here, See that? Sarvam, all, idam, tatam, pervaded. What pervades the entire body? Consciousness. Because if I touch you here, you feel. If I touch you there, you feel. I touch you there, you feel. I touch you there, you feel, like this. Correct? Everywhere you touch, you can feel. The feeling is there. Not even just in the gross body, in the mind also. Your consciousness is spread in the mind too, which is the subtle body. Because false ego, mind, and intelligence constitute the subtle body. And then earth, water, fire, air, ether constitute the gross body. So here, that which pervades the entire body, you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. So the soul is calculated to be 1/10,000th the part of the tip of a hair. Here, when the upper point of a hair is divided into 100 parts, and again, each of such part is further divided into 100 parts, each such part is the measurement of the dimension of the spirit soul. Just for fun. If we do this measurement, how much did they measure that? Let's see. There's the upper point of a hair for measurement purpose is the apex. Okay, no, that's not what we're looking for. Anyway, so the soul is just like the sun. The sun is localized, but its rays are spread out throughout the whole sky. Similarly, the soul is localized. It is 1/10,000th part the tip of a hair. It is situated within the heart of the living entity. I mean to say within the heart of this body. The heart is the seat. Why this heart keeps pumping? It's never stopping. Where's the energy? Can scientists say? They don't know. They don't understand how come the heart just keeps beating. And they don't know why the heart stops beating. So, but consciousness is spread throughout the body. So the soul is there, but its consciousness, it is spread out throughout the whole body. So therefore, it is like the sun. The soul is both conscious and consciousness. Both. So this superior energy is exploiting this inferior energy. We are utilizing it. Matter grows because the soul is there. Because the soul is within the child grows. Matter grows. You see the child body, it grows. It eats body and it grows. Nails are coming out. Hairs are coming out. Sweat is coming out. So matter comes out of spirit, not the opposite. Not that matter will create spirit. No. This is what they're being taught now. Even though it's not been proven, in school we learn that what? Evolution theory. Yeah. Matter started, there was a chunk, and then some big explosion, and hundreds, thousands of billions of years later, there was one molecule that became, and then started to move, and and in the water, and it became something. Very shallow understanding, very childish way of explaining the creation, and no proof also, and they call it scientific. That is not scientific. Science means that you need to understand matter and spirit, both, two energies. That is true science. And it's not a belief, it's not a religion, some fanatic zeal or something. It is experienced. We can see. I'm talking with people, there's two eyes, there's a nose, there's a mouth and all, but that same person, when it's dead, it's there and it's horrible. No one wants to touch that body. A dead body, who wants to hug? So why, when it's alive, I want to hug? That means I'm attracted to the consciousness, to the living entity. When the living entity leaves, I don't even want to, Prabhupada said once, you can kick in the face and nobody cares. It's a fact. You kick a dead body, no one cares. People will say, hey, don't touch. Disgusting. You burn it, actually, right? You burn it. You care so much not about that body, you rather bury it or burn it. But this whole Western civilization now especially is based on thinking that we're this body. And therefore, when it dies, they take care of it still. They'll put a nice tuxedo, they'll make it up. And then, okay, that's the last vision we have ahead. Okay, quickly close and bury it. As if it's going to remain like that. Open it like 3 months later, let's see. So But they're thinking, no, let's take care of that. No, body is matter. Once the soul is gone, this is useless, pointless. Burn it. Why keep it? Why so much spaces, real estate, for cemeteries, and then it's filled with ghosts, and
They make a lot of money.
yeah, it's a big business. Vedic culture means build a funeral pyre, burn it, finish. That helps the soul to carry on, because the soul might get attached. My body's still here, might become a ghost and roam around. Go in the cemetery at night. Do it a couple of nights. Let's see. You'll see ghosts for sure. Ghost is a fact. It's not some story to scare kids or what. It's there in every single culture, correct? Every single culture speaks of ghosts. Even culture that did not meet one another. Like Europeans, they believe in ghosts. Then the North American, Indian, they also speak of ghosts. Why? Ghost is there. Sometimes you see things moving, I've seen. I was watching a movie at one point with my, when I was a carmy, still watching movie, watching a scary movie with my family. And then one CD that's on top of the TV just went flying like that. No purpose. Another time we were discussing some ghost story. The window just exploded like this. So why these things happen? Because there's some people that are stuck in the body of ghosts and they're suffering. And when you speak about that, you attract them. You make them angry. So this is what is lacking in modern day civilization. They think themselves very advanced. They speak. They are very much convinced of the way that they're living. But they cannot understand the simple fact that I am not this body. And that is the very beginning of spiritual science. People speak of spirituality, but they have no idea what spirituality means. Spirituality means to understand I am not this body. Therefore, the Bhagavad Gita starts like that. This is a science. 2 + 2 = 4. It doesn't matter where you read it. We are not sectarian. People think we're sectarian because we have an appearance. Oh, they wear tilak and dhoti, they're sectarian. It's not like that. We are after scientific fact. If in the Christian religion they would say we are not this body, we support that. You understand? It's not that we are against Christian. No, not like that. 2 + 2 = 4 in Canada, in China, in India. Doesn't matter. So when in the Christian faith they say God created the world, that is science. That is Veda. That is knowledge. It is a fact. When in the Islamic religion they say God created the world, that is a fact. That is science. That is Veda. It's not because it's told in another language in some other book that it is not Veda. Veda means knowledge. So wherever knowledge is, that is Veda. Now, if there's concoction somewhere, that is not Veda. Because if a concoction means it's my own interpretation of things. But as far as science is, it is correct wherever it is found. Right? So, Krishna says, as the embodied soul, this is 2:13, as the embodied soul continually passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So we want to become sober. We do not want to be always seeking sense enjoyment, because sense enjoyment means you remain within this cycle of birth and death. What is this world? This world is mainly composed of animals, actually. If you look at it, you take all living entities in the world. How many humans are we now? Like 8 billion, they say? Correct? 10 already? No, I think it's 8 something. 8 billion. We passed the 8 billion. That's not that long ago, some years ago. Anyway, that is also what we know of the world, right? The Vedas say there's many other species of human beings. Anyway, so they say, okay, all right, 8 billion, but how many ants, how many birds, how many trees, so many living entities are there? Yeah, you see. Most of the world is filled with living entities like this, animals, right? So they think that I'm human being. No, you can also become dog. You can. It's a fact. They do not know. Your birth, you were put into this embryo. That was not your saying. You had nothing to say about it. You were put into that. All of us were put into that. And they think, oh, it's very comfortable. That's what they think, right? Oh, the baby is comfortable. The mother is. How is it comfortable? This is Maya. Maya means we're being kicked in the face and we think it is very comfortable. That's Maya. What comfort is this? Huh? What comfort is that you're stuck inside some belly? See? Have you seen a C-sec? What a C-sec looks like? This is a C-sec. You know, when they cut open, look how the baby comes. Is this comfortable? Does this child looks comfortable? Just see how packly tight he is. Let's say right now, I bring a bag, plastic bag, I put you inside, I put some water in, and I airtight it, and you cannot move. You're like this. How long are you gonna last? We were all in that condition. You see, this child is conscious. This child is not unconscious. He's conscious. He's living that. He's experiencing that. And we were all put in that position. And we will all again go into that position if we don't go back. We have to. Even though we're born in a family of devotees or so on, we'll still have to go through that. You think this child is dead now? You think he's not feeling? No, look. As soon as he opened, look, fully conscious. Look at that. That means now he's stuck. He's not starting to be conscious as soon as it opens up. He's already conscious. And we're thinking he's comfortable. This is Maya. See how he's crying? He's not laughing. He's crying. Why? Because this is horrible. It's painful. Therefore, the problems of life is birth, death, disease, old age. Not just death, birth also. That's a painful situation. And then as soon as he comes out, father is there, mother is there. Oh, he forgets everything. He starts a new, and he identifies with the new body. Correct. So this is the fact that the soul is within the body, and the soul does not depend upon whatever we think to live. They think, oh, if I cut some nerves in your brain or something, you die. No, you don't die. You might stop the machine from moving. But even that, from Hiranyakashipu, what do we learn? From his austerity, that the soul can live within bones. Some great yogis, even though there's no more meat or anything, they can live inside bones. It's a fact. Some yogis can do it if the soul wants to remain, because the soul can neither be killed by water, nor by fire, nor by air, nor by, Krishna says, right? He lists all the elements. Soul cannot. So that means soul can live in fire. If somehow or other there's a arrangement, soul can live in water, soul can live in air and ether, all of that. Ghost body, what is it? Ethereal body can live in ether. We learn that there are planets of fire, right? The sun is not empty. There are some living entities that reside there. They think we're crazy when we speak like that. Why? You went there? You know about it? We accept an authority, and you accept also an authority. You've never been to the sun. You accept what NASA said, take some picture, I don't know, no carbon, blah, 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 too hot, you'll die. Why? First of all, you don't know what you are. You don't know that you're a spirit soul. Correct? You assume that you're this body, and therefore you think this body is put into fire, finished. And you think, therefore, nobody can. No. If there's a fiery body, just like fish is a watery body. Can you live in the ocean? Let's say a child see, oh, water, I cannot live in water. If I go in water, I'll die. Therefore, there's nobody living in water. That is a childish conclusion. The soul can be living anywhere. And that is, you see this? This is the sun planet. But, of course, the bodies are, fiery. So Krishna spoke to the sun god. The sun god spoke to Manu. Manu spoke to Ikshvaku. So this knowledge that we're speaking, this is what they're talking now. This Bhagavad Gita, this is what they're saying. Krishna, this is what he's telling the sun god. Sun god is telling. Like that. So, the body can live also, even though there is no, proper arrangement for it. And you see that? Look at this. See this?
Wow.
See this meat? See that? Why? They'll say, oh, the nerves and this and that. No, somehow the soul has not fully leave. Look at this.
They're attached to the body.
Wait, they're not, somehow they're not leaving yet. See? Meat moving. How nasty it is. Look at this. Look at that in the supermarket. It's trying to escape. The snake's still alive. All of that. Why is these things are there? God is trying to show you, you rascal, you're eating meat. What are you doing? It's living entity, you know. Look at this one, no head. And they say that no, we are the brain, right? They think consciousness comes from the brain. No, consciousness comes from the heart because the soul is there. So consciousness comes from the soul. Headless fish swimming. How can they explain that? Oh, the nerves are still They'll try to explain some vague idea. No, we know the soul is within the heart, and that has not left the body yet. So we are not fools and rascals that we're going to be following people who are about to die. Correct? All these scientists, they're saying some big words, and 50 years, where are they? Rest in peace. Why should I listen to you? You're in the same trouble as me, my friend. You're on the Titanic also. You're trying to teach me something, right? If you cannot save me from the sinking boat, why should I listen to you? Why are you better than me? You know, these big politicians, they'll tell you they'll come. Why? You're dishonest. You're climbing above me, trying to teach me, but you have no clue of what's going on. You're also about to die. I'm also about to die. Why should I listen to your words, rascal? Get down. Be humble. Therefore, real smart people, they understand that they don't know. Socrates, what did he say? The only thing that I know is that I know nothing. That's humility. That's real knowledge that you can get by yourself. That the only true knowledge you can reach by yourself is this. That you know what? Actually, I don't know. I don't know anything. You know, that is understanding. Of course, Socrates, he was self-realized. He understood he was not the body. You know how Socrates died, right?
He had to drink poison due to challenge of politicians and the king himself.
Yeah. So Socrates, they challenged him. This is a famous painting of his death because he said, "No, we are not this body. We're a soul. So we'll continue to exist." You know, and that was very much against the Christian religion. So they challenged him. They say, "All right, you think you're the soul. You're not the body. Do you dare to drink poison?" Socrates say, "All right, bring it." He didn't care. That means what? He was not. He knew for a fact, I'm not gonna die. So you see, he's bringing the poison like that, and you see everybody is, no, what are you doing? You know, everybody's lamenting. He's like, I'll prove it to you. I don't care. And he drank. Of course, the body stopped. But that shows you one thing also. He was kind of tired to deal with these kind of, nonsense people. Okay, I'll prove to you and I'll leave you guys. I'm tired of all you. Just let. So that's a self-realized soul. What is that? A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So someone who's sober, he'll know that I'm not going to die. His body is going to end. I will continue existing. So parastasmat bhavanyo. There is another nature. And not only that the soul belongs to this higher nature, but there's an entire world that is made of that nature. That's why God comes and he's trying to teach us that don't think that this world is where you belong. My world does not become destroyed when your world here is going to be destroyed. Parastasmat bhavanyo vyakto vyaktat sanatana. Right? Today's verse. Yet there's another unmanifest nature which is eternal and transcendental to this manifest and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. It is eternal. That is Sanatan. They use the word Sanatana without understanding what it means. They say Sanatana Dharma, but they don't know what it means, Sanatan Dharma. What is Sanatan Dharma? Sanatan Dharma is very simple. This is Sanatana Dharma. That's all. Just exchanging loving feelings with Krishna. That's Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma is not just some yaggic thing, and all of that. This is to bring you to the actual Sanatan Dharma. The activities of the spiritual world. That is Sanatan Dharma. So, our objective is to be happy eternally. Everybody wants to be happy. They think that we are escaping. We are trying to become happiness less, No, we want to be more happy than all of you, actually. We are more after happiness than all of you. But you're seeking happiness in the senses. And that is not working. We can see. These people are not happy. They're struggling very hard day and night to get their money. And for what? For wine, for women, for drugs, for this, for that. And what is the result? They wake up and they're all, like that, what to do, and they smoke their cigarette and their coffee and they go to work and they're unhappy. Ultimately, you're unhappy. Not satisfied, not satisfied, not satisfied. It boils down to what? Sex life. That's all. A little bit of sex at night. Okay, it was worth it. I'll go again and be scolded by my boss another 8 hours a day. So because of this sex, actually, there's no other real enjoyment. And even that enjoyment is based on, illusion. But in this material world, sex is the driving force. If there was no sex life, nobody would do everything that they're doing. It is only that. You have to see it. Women after men, men after women. For the whole economic development arises from that. It's true. Real economists, not even devotees or what, but true economists, who know their science, they understand that economic development is based on sex. It's based on the uniting men and women. There was this one story, when the Americans were developing the North America, like they'll send a couple of men there to work, start, build one house, two houses, like that. They start towns, correct? So at one point they send some men to some area of the States. So they're trying to develop a new town. So after a couple of months, okay, how far are you? Oh, it's quite slow, huh? Okay, let's send some women. They send the women. Wow, everything. Because why? A couple of men together. All right, let's take it easy, boys. All right, let's drink a little bit. Okay, good. Then women come. Oh, this is mine. Oh, okay. You want a house? Okay. Oh, go. You're pregnant. All right. And everything, right? It starts from this attachment. Sex. Men, women, come. Sex means children. Children expands. House, community, family, hospitals, schools. Everything expands because of that. Stri. The word women in Sanskrit is called stri. Stri means expanding. See how Sanskrit is so scientific? The word women in Sanskrit means through which there is expansion. So we are, after going back to a world where there's no birth, no death, no disease, and no old age. Simply happiness. That's all. Every day you go out, where's Krishna? Where's Krishna? And just play with him. That's it. This is the spiritual world. Lord Jesus Christ came and spoke a little bit, but he could not talk so much because this is too high for the people he used to preach to. But Prabhupada has given us this. That is a spiritual world. We all wanted that, actually. When you were a kid, we were playing with our friends. We loved it, right? Why? Because this is what we are. We're young, always young, and we just want to play and play and play and play and play. But here, you play, you fall from a tree, you break your head. Okay, tomorrow go to school. No, and then study. You just want to play. But if you just play, you become dumb, you have no job, you go in the street. So much suffering is there. But ultimately, we are eternally young. So that is the life that we want. Not the life that we are becoming. I was driving this morning coming back. I saw this huge billboard. It was saying, okay, our kind of leaders, somehow it was maybe some magazine or some journal. I don't know what it was. Our leaders, and then some old men there. And then getting old is living. See how Maya gets you? No, getting old is dying. Old age means death is soon. Old age simply means that, hey, death is coming. Okay? But here, getting old is living. No, my friend, getting old is dying. Actually, we're all dying. Every day we're older, and one day we'll be old. And when old age hits, all this is going to become flat. This is going to look very ugly. We're going to have pain everywhere. It means what? It means next step is death. And what are we going to do at death? Are we going to be all self-realized just like that? Oh, yeah, I'm ready. That's what they think. I'll be ready. I'll have lived my life. I'll be fine. No, my friend, you'll be so attached to whatever you've done in your life. You'll be scared as hell. Scared as anything. So much so that when they die, what do they find? They pass stool and urine, correct? Why? Because you're scared as anything. You think there's no control, that you're going to die and you just close the light? No, your birth was not within your control. Your growing old is not within your control. You die without your control. You're boasting. You're trying to be independent and all. But if it doesn't rain for 2 years, what happens to you? The whole world is finished. No rain, finished. We're dependent, but we think we're independent. Oh, I'm a big politician, I'm a big scientist, I'm a big teacher and all. This is all the influence of false ego. Ahankara vimudatma kartahamiti manyate, Krishna says. You think you're the doer of everything? You're a fool. So we don't want to be fool. We want to be servant of Krishna. That is the real understanding. That is Sanatana Dharma. Any questions or comments?
So when Socrates drank that poison, how can we understand his destination?
His what?
His destination. Well, like,
Yeah, that Brahman.
really?
Yeah, he got liberated. Because he realized he's not the body. When you realize you're not the body, you leave your body, that way you're liberated. You're not under the false impression. He had no material desire, obviously. How you can drink poison and be so confident, and he's not committing suicide like everything is I'm gonna kill myself. He's just okay. You want me to prove? I'll do it. It's not that he wanted to die, but you all rascals don't believe me. I'll prove to you. I'm not scared.
So many stuff. They're all really considered that were in India. My bodies, monism is the
Monism, yes. So what is the symptom of one who's self-realized? Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma na sochati na kanchati. He doesn't lament, he doesn't desire to have anything. It's okay. It came to him through his destiny that you want poison. Poison is there. I'm going to prove, okay, I'll take it. So that type of person is a self-realized person, self-realized soul. But Brahman is not enough, correct? Brahman means of course, you're liberated, but such a long time, you'll have to come down at one point, unless somehow or other you manage to meet a pure devotee there. I think Prabhupada mentioned that at one point. There's a possibility that you can from Brahman to spiritual planets. So we can say he was the most intelligent person in our Western world, Socrates.
vegetarian also. All the great philosophers were. I read something the other day. It said Kali Yuga, I mentioned in Mahabharata actually. It said in Kali Yuga the specific name of the name of the Greeks in Mahabharata. They fought on the side of River. And it said that in Kali Yuga they ruled the world. They would be like the main, and they were the Greeks. So they were one time they'd be the most powerful in the world.
The Greeks.
It says in Mahabharata they're still probably the most powerful in the world. And
Possible.
Still to this day, they're the most influential and most by far. No one comes close.
The Greek empire. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Go Brahmanande, Hari Hari.